Hello guys, welcome to another episode in Android application development tutorial series. So in the last episode, we learned about how to create a simple user interface using Android Studio layout editor. So here is our last example. So when you click the button, nothing will happen because here we didn't specify any click listeners for the button. So in this episode, here I'm going to show you how to handle button clicks, how to create a new activity in Android Studio, and how to start a new activity from your Android application. So the first thing here, I'm going to show you how to create a new activity in Android Studio. So open project window, right click the package and select the new option, select activity and select the empty activity. So here you have to specify the class name for the activity. Here is the layout name. So here I'm going to specify the class name as message activity, and here is the layout name always small letters, and click finish. So here the new activity is created. So here is the class name, here is the class for the newly created activity, and here is the layout for the newly created activity. So when you create a new activity in Android Studio create two files. First one is the class name for the activity, and second one is the XML file for the layout. And Android Studio do one more thing. Inside Android manifest.xml, Android Studio automatically adds some activity element inside the application tag. So now in this application we have two activity. First one is the main activity and second one is the newly created activity. That's why here there are two activity tags. So this is the main activity and this is the newly created activity. So here the main activity is the launcher activity. Launcher activity is nothing but the entry point to an Android application. That means when you click the icon on the launcher, the main activity will open. That's why we called main activity as the launcher activity. Since the main activity is the launcher activity, it must have an indent filter section. Inside the indent filter section there is a category option is available. Inside category it specify category as launcher. That means the main activity is the launcher activity for this application. And here is the newly created activity. It is a normal activity, it is not the launcher activity. So here there is no indent filter section available for this activity. Only one attribute is available called Android name. The Android name specify the class name for that activity. Okay, so now go back to the layout of the newly created activity. Here I am going to add some view components, so we can hide the project window, change the design surface into blueprint, change the default margin into 24 dp. Now here I am going to add some text view, drag a text view into it. Now here create the constraints for the text view. Create a constraint at the left side, create a constraint at the right side, create a constraint at the top. Okay, so now select the text view. Now here I'm going to create some string resource for the newly created activity. So open project, go to resource file, open values, open strings.xml. So here I'm going to add a new string value. So add a new string value. I name it as welcome message. Specify the default value for it. Welcome to message activity, and click OK. Now go back to activity message.xml. Okay. Now here I am going to modify some attribute of this text view. So select the text view. Here is the text option. Select the new resource. Here it is welcome message. So now we modify the welcome message on the text view. Now here I am going to change the text appearance. I change that one into bold. Now here I am going to modify the text size into 20 sp. Okay, So now we can check the design. So this is the design. Okay, so now we have to start this newly created activity when user click the button inside main activity. So now we can close these files. Now go to project, open main activity. Now open the activity main.xml. So here we have a button inside activity main.xml. So select the button. Now go back to the attribute window. There is an onClick attribute is there. So here I'm going to specify a method name. I name it as send message. So this is the method when Android system will invoke when user click the button. So now we have to specify this method inside the class name of this activity. So go back to main activity.java. So we have to specify the onClick method for the button. So the access specifier must be public. The return type is void. Now specify the method name. The method name is send message. For this method, you must specify one parameter is an object of view class. Okay, so when user click the button, Android system will invoke this method. So from this method, we have to start the newly created activity. So for start a new activity, you have to create an object of intent. An intent is nothing but the intention of an Android application to do something. That means start a new activity, start a new service, send some broadcast, etc. So here our intention is to start a new activity. So the first thing, we have to create an object of intent. So here you need to pass two parameters. First one is the context and second one is the class name of the target activity. So here the context is this. Now specify the class name of the target activity. So the target activity is message activity.class. Okay, for start an activity, you have to call a method called start activity and pass the intent as parameter. That's it. So now we can test our application. So I'm going to run this application again. Okay, now here the application available on this virtual device. Just type some message. Now I'm going to click the button. So click the send message button. It will open the newly created activity. So this is how we handle the click events of a button using an onClick method, and this is how we create a new activity. And here I hope you understand how to start a new activity in Android application. I hope you understand all these concepts. For getting more Android tutorial updates, please subscribe this channel now. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.